I'm good. Just snapping in here, trying to get the live going. It looks like we're live.
We're good now.
I was about to say, don't steal my chair. Already got a good question.
Okay, I'll need your phone to read the TikTok chat.
Need my phone to read the TikTok chat. Here we go. We are live, America. All right. So we had the cutest lady come in today to do my brother. Hey, Bob Rooney. We had the cutest lady come to do a testimonial today. She actually started with us. She's just finished her second round with us, and she got to 100. I think she went from 10 to 60, 60 to 100, I believe. We used to be in a little house because we had like 10 or 15 employees, and that's when they met us. They made their first claim there, and now they drove down to come to this office that we have in Encinitas, and they just couldn't believe how far we've come to 2 buildings. We're about to buy a big building, and how many veterans we've helped, how many employees we have. And Sherry, I will call you today. Make sure I call Sherry. I am literally the worst, the absolute worst human being. I say I'm going to call it. I'll call. I'm awful. So this lady was telling me about how life-changing the support was, difference between doing it herself, doing it with DAV, and doing it with us. She just said that she felt like we are totally in the trench with you. We are fully leaned in. We actually care. We actually answer the phone, and we actually make good claims. And I think the reason, and this is why I wanted to start here, the reason we make good, thoughtful claims and we make them on time and actually prepare you is because the nature of how you work with us is that if we fail you, right? Because now we're in it with you. We both have skin in the game. If we fail you and our process doesn't work after 2 times, we may have to give you a refund. And we wouldn't exist if we gave every veteran a refund. So we are very conscious about doing very good work. That's actually one of the reasons why paying in advance is good for you, because when you pay for attention, when you pay for something, you have the expectation that people will pick up the phone. When you go use all these free services, they're like, you haven't paid me. I'll call you when I call you. And veterans don't need that. Another veteran I talked to today was a gentleman who had some mental health issues. And I think he was trying me on to see if I was the kind of person who was sturdy enough to handle his flash rage, because most people can't handle it. And I said, you're a veteran. We talk to angry people all the time. They're usually not angry at us, but we know that it's our job. That's what you pay for. That's the kind of service you pay for, so that we can get you where you're trying to go. I've denied a couple claims. Hopefully your rep can help me figure this out. When I talk to them July 9th, I'm already a paid client. Perfect. We will get to you, and we will get you where you're trying to go. So for all of you who've never seen me before, I'm Kate Monroe. I'm the CEO of VetComm. I'm rated at 100%. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. A lot of people go, is that lady, was she in the Marine Corps? Yes, I was. I know, maybe the way that I look now would signal to you I didn't serve, but when I was in the Marines, I actually smashed my nose in eye socket, crushed my right elbow, broke my right ankle. I actually had a laceration on my face, like huge, almost lost my left eye. I had a very difficult time, broke 2 ribs. I was assaulted. Like, not every injury you can see, some things are invisible, like especially like mental health. I actually had somebody the other day, I have a disabled veteran license plate, and I parked in a handicapped spot. And this mom and daughter walked by and said, "Oh, she doesn't look disabled." I didn't say anything because I'm not petty. I could be petty, but I wasn't petty in this instant because they don't know, right? They don't know what they don't know. So anyway, I hope you guys have a lot of questions today. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to be doing a Q&A with you, and it's better for me if you ask questions. Otherwise, we're going to have a monologue for an hour, and I'm just going to tell you whatever I want to tell you, and it might not be what you want to know about, right? So if everybody could write this number down or put it in your phone, I'm going to say it 100 times while we are on this live. The number, if you want to get a claim review, and this is what a claim review is. If you're watching me, it's likely because you need help. You need help getting more. You need help filing. You need help deciding if we're a good fit for you, if you should even be rated. We give you a free 15 to 20-minute consultation with us. And the coolest part is you're going to be smarter and better served for having done the call. And it's free. It costs you nothing. And it might give you everything that you need, right? So the number is 858-360-2227. And if you text free claim review or help, whatever it is, it's going to go to somebody live right now, and they're going to schedule you that appointment. And the reason that you want to do it now is because we're going to give you a discount on our service for taking the time to sit in this live. We want to reward you for spending this time with this lady, because there's like a lot of other things you could be doing and you are here. So text in, that way you get on the list. Even if today isn't your day, we can make sure that we reach out to you and get you the help that you need. So do we have any questions yet? Okay, go ahead.
Got a good one. On Instagram, Father Time LW asks,
Father Time.
what is the main cause of your poor online reviews? Lots of happy and very unhappy people.
So we get asked this a lot. So if you take the number of all of our bad reviews, because we have tons of 5-star reviews, if you scoop up all of our bad reviews, there's about 20 bad reviews that are legitimate customers. The rest of them we have researched in our system. They're not VetComm customers. My best guess is they're our opponents, and our opponents don't like us charging $11.97 when they charge $15,000. So let's say that we have 20 people out of 15,000 people that are unhappy. That means we have a 99.9% success rate. Because as a veteran, I'm going to tell you this right now. If you were mad at us, you would go bitch about it online too. That's just the nature of veterans. We get very angry, even when we shouldn't be angry, and we go ahead and we blast people. Okay. So a 99.9 success rate is very good. We can pivot anything to the positive. The glass can be half empty. It can be half full. You have to assume that, 14,980 people thought we did a good job. So that's my best answer there for you. I hate whiny witches who have been waiting a few months. I have been waiting for 12 years for an appeal. I hate them too. Charlie, let's go ahead and talk to you, Charlie. If you've been waiting 12 years, buddy, that's a way freaking too long. Why don't you take us up on that free claim review, and we can see if we could fold time a little bit for you. 858-360-2227.
Cafe Sewer from TikTok asks, do you guys help with DBQs? I need one filled out.
Do we help with DBQs? Yes, we absolutely do. And I'm glad that the DBQ question came up early, because people always think, I want a Nexus letter. I'm looking for a Nexus letter company. The only Nexus letter companies are Nexus letter mills. And the VA knows this, and they have these doctors' names in their register. And a lot of them are written by AI. I'll just tell you that right now. A DBQ, on the other hand, our claims agents will help you fill it out. All your doctor has to do is fill in a little tiny bit of info and sign it. They're more than happy to do that. What they don't want to do is, for maybe the $100 they got for seeing you, write a 3 or 4 page dissertation on your disability they know nothing about. So a DBQ is amazing, and we absolutely will help you get that done. Rebecca Davis says, Kate, what are some of the secondary things you can claim for migraines? So I don't want to go too far out in the weeds on secondary claims of every single thing, but migraines can cause a ton of things. Migraines can interrupt your sleep. Migraines can cause you so much stress, right, that you end up getting other neurological issues. Back, let's just talk for a second about it. Your back, secondary, you can pick up radiculopathy and neuropathy. There's so many things, like PTSD. A lot of times we want to connect IBS and GERD. There's so many, it's like a cascade kind of waterfall we're trying to build. Let's get the primaries done, and then we're going to stack in all those secondaries that you likely never even thought about. If you're wondering about secondaries, Rebecca, if I were you, I'd text in 858-360-2227, and let's have a more in-depth chat about that. I filed Desert Storm Syndrome years ago. Does that happen under the PACT Act as well? Have never filed before. I have an appointment tomorrow. What should I bring to the call? On your review call that you are going to do with us to determine if you want to use us, you need to bring your good attitude and yourself on time. That's really what you need to, and your open heart and open mind to what we do. Because you might find we're a good fit, and you might find that we're not. We don't need all your evidence. We don't need your DD-214. We don't need any of that to have this first conversation. And likely we're not going to need your DD-214 at all, because if you're already in the DEER system on va.gov, you don't need to worry about it. They already have everything they need. You're already in the system. I think we've had 2 people out of 15,000 people that we needed a DD-214 for. So just bring you and your good attitude to the call. I just won my sleep apnea claim the first time on my own, and my doctor who treated me for sleep apnea filled out the DBQ. DBQs are amazing. I'm telling you, it's like one of the least used things by veterans, and you can literally get online, fill one out, have your doctor sign it, submit it as evidence. And we do this for veterans all the time. Anybody else?
Todd from TikTok asks,
Todd.
yes,
Hi, Todd.
Should a secondary claim be submitted at the same time as the primary?
It kind of depends for me, if your secondary should be submitted with your primaries, if they're easily tied together, like a back and radiculopathy and neuropathy, and they all very easily tie together, yeah, we'll make those claims together because they're all in the same set. If you're trying to win a primary and a weird niche secondary that doesn't usually link together very well or very obviously, you might not want to do that on your first round. I'm a paid customer. I just called for a review. Turns out I'm at 50% PTSD, not getting paid because I got severance back in 86, but that was paid off in 91. So don't know what to do next. Charlie, write in and you and I can actually have a discussion. Say, I want to talk to Kate. So make sure if Charlie Welshins writes in that he and I can have a discussion when I get off the phone. 858-360-2227.
So I'm going to lump two questions together.
Okay.
I've got, what's your fee? What's your payment plan? And are you VA accredited?
I'll start with the VA accreditation first. So when we first started VetComm, we looked into getting accredited. And at the time, and it still is until some legislation passes, when you're accredited, you have to make claims when you have people's records and that are in their record, and you're not allowed to coach. But what veterans need, because they don't have their record and they don't know what they're doing, they need people to make their claims from their memory with the evidence that they do have, and they need coaching, because the number one way that people fail here is they don't have any coaching. It's like you're on a treasure hunt and you don't have a map, and I'm over here with the map like, hey, I'll just take you, like, I'll just go get you the treasure. And that, I think, is the big deal, because if we don't coach you, you might go to a mental health appointment and start talking about your childhood. Well, the second you do that, they might say, yeah, you have PTSD, but you came in the service with it. Because so many veterans go into the service because they had a traumatic childhood. They're trying to escape it. They will get you to talk about it. So without coaching, you're not going to really know, what should I say? What shouldn't I say? How should I look and feel and sound and be? And I think that's really why we made that choice. So hopefully that's a sufficient answer for you, but you're more than welcome to text in and ask that question to a rep at 858-360-2227. The other question is, what do we charge? Well, first I'll start with, we don't take any back pay. Sometimes I see online, people are like, don't use them, they're going to take all your back pay. We don't take one nickel of back pay. I would not sleep at night. That is not a thing. We do not take one nickel of back pay. That is your money. As a Marine Corps veteran who went through this process, I was glad to get my back paycheck and not owe anybody any money. On the front end, there's 3 ways to do business with us. The first way, the least expensive way, is that you pay up front without a payment plan. You would pay $11.97. That represents a $900 discount because the price really is $2,100. So we discount at $900. While you're on the live today, you need to be texting free claim review, because here's where your discount code is going to come from. Text free claim review to 858-360-2227, because this is going to give you $200 more off. Now you're talking $997, our year and a half ago prices. Okay. If you don't have that money today, we have 3 payments of $500 and 6 payments of $350. And those are our plans, and that's all you ever pay us. And the coolest news is, even if you pick the 6 monthly payments, we're still going to start on day 1. This is not a layaway program. You don't have to wait to get served here at VetComm, hopefully. And we also have a money back guarantee. So you have to let us go. If the first round fails, we're going the second round for free. If you are like the one person we couldn't help after 2 rounds, you can get your money back, or we're going to go a 3rd round. We let you choose that. You have to remember, sometimes people will go, well, I lost on round 1. Well, the VA hopes that you take your ball and leave. They don't realize you have VetComm's help, and we're like, nope, you're not leaving. We're going another round. They hoped you would quit. We're not going to let you quit. That's why you pay, because now you're accountable. It's like getting a trainer at the gym. It's like, no, we're doing the squats today, and we're going to make sure that we get you where you're trying to go. I paid up front, and I most likely will not get 100, but we'll get 70 to 90%. Will you guys go another round, or do I need to pay again at 1,200? So we don't guarantee everybody 100%. If anyone tells you that, like, especially if you're not at 90, if you're at 90 with our program, because we're going to do 3 rounds for a 90%er to get them to 100, you're very likely to hit 100%. But if you're never filed before, or you're at 70 and anybody tells you we're 100%, we're going to get you there, they have no idea, and neither do you, because the VA, we have to rely on what the VA does. We will get you an increase. So go bless yourself. That's so funny. It's like, oh, bless your heart. If we get you more and you win, any consecutive round is only $500. So you can do as many of those rounds as you want to until you creep along. Most people don't have to do very many. I think that, probably 50% of people that don't hit the 100 mark that feel like they should be, 50% of those people will do a $500 round and they'll get themselves more. And we leave that up to you. Sometimes you hit your mark at 70 and you're like, I'm good. I'm where I was trying to go. So those are your decisions. Do you have a question?
Anthony Campagno.
Anthony.
He says, do you help with every disability or do you specialize in specific claims?
So we help with every disability, whether it be primary or secondary. We help with supplemental claims, which I'm going to get into here in a second. We also help with HLR prep, CMP exam prep, DBQ, filling out evidence gathering. We do everything. We don't discriminate on whatever disability you have. We're going to make it happen, even if it's some weird niche thing. One time for a man in his 90s, he told me I was thrown around in a tsunami inside of a ship and I got injured and it caused me to have some PTSD, but I can't prove that this tsunami happened because the guy's this old. I found on some microfiche on Google this exact tsunami he was talking about, and now he's rated at 90% and he was rated at nothing. So we will go the distance. We'll do the work. Have you ever heard of a Superfund site? If so, what is it? Be more specific, Sherman Baker. I don't know exactly what you're asking me.
Do you advise on BDD applicants or do they have to get their final rating?
Nope, we do BDD claims. I would say 20% or so of our business is helping people around the globe on bases that are exiting. You're smart to start with us at about the 6-month mark because we may look at what you have memorialized so far and say, hey, you're talking to us about some mental health. Why don't we go get that memorialized? Hey, you just told me about how, your ankle's messed up. I see your back, but I don't see your ankle. So we want to get all that memorialized, make the claim, prep you so that you can get out at the highest level you possibly can. So we absolutely do that. And I love that. And if anybody is active duty watching now, and you've ever thought about doing Skillbridge, which means you can come work for me for the last 6 months while you're in, and the day you get out, you're going to already have a job. So we're a DoD Skillbridge providing company. You have to think something. Everybody, and this makes me laugh. Think about this. We've already renewed our Skillbridge, which means we made it through the first year and they renewed us because we hired all but one person because they moved out of the country. We hire every single person. We don't use and abuse Skillbridge. We wouldn't have got approved, and we certainly wouldn't have got renewed if we weren't a good, safe place for active duty military personnel to work. But you know what has to happen for you to get approved? They read the entire document of what you do as a company. So the DoD knows exactly what we do as a company. We made it through the first year. We did excellent work, and they renewed us. I also was just in Washington, D.C. Doug Collins, the Secretary of the VA, invited me to sit at a round table. If you look us up, you'll see videos and pictures of us together. I was the only for-profit company invited because we charge the least amount of money and do the best work. And I helped a couple of his friends get rated. So you just have to think, if we were really a scam, we probably wouldn't still be around. We wouldn't have helped 15,000 people. I wouldn't be helping craft legislation. We wouldn't be in DC with these people in hearings. So you guys need to stop listening to all the rhetoric put out by all the free services, because it's good for the VA if you think you can only use a free service, because that free service is married to the VA. You're never, hardly ever going to get where you want to go. Will they get you paid? Yeah, you'll get paid 10%, 30, 40, 50%, but you're not going to get paid what you're actually owed. Forget what you deserve. You won't get paid what you're owed if you don't enlist the help of people who know the strategy. You have a question?
Jay Scar wants to know, why does VetComm have negative reviews on Reddit?
VetComm has negative reviews on every platform, BBB, Google, wherever it may be. Every company has negative reviews on everywhere. I mean, recently we had to let go of somebody that works at the company. I'm not going to disparage him, even though he was happy to disparage me. Sometimes people get angry and they flash rage and do very petty things, and that's up to them. Everybody has choices with how they decide to operate their life. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. But I addressed this review thing earlier. I'll address it again. We only have about 20 bad reviews, legitimate ones, and we've helped 15,000 people. As a veteran, look inside your heart. If we had hurt you and we owed you money and we really didn't do good work and we were really such a scam, you would be the first person to also go write a review if we were really like that. So you have to assume that 14,980 people were happy with our service. That's a 99.9% success rate. So you can't listen to all the naysayers, and you have to look at yourself too. How many of you leave good reviews about anything? Most of you don't, because I've asked hundreds of veterans. When's the last time you left a good review? Quick to leave a negative one, slow to leave a good one. So that's my spiel, and I'm sticking to it. And I get asked it all the time, and I'll defend it into the grave. I know what we do. I'm sure of what we do. If you saw our weekly meetings or looked at our chat when we're announcing so-and-so went from 0 to 90, from 60 to 100, from this to that, where it's coming in the chat all day long. The whole company is liking it, loving it, writing things about it. We absolutely love people. It says the fact that you're out here showing your face, speaking publicly, and willing to have Q&As is actually proof that bad reviews are just unhappy people. Keep fighting the good fight. Doing the Lord's work. That is like the best. I want to change my handle to doing the Lord's work. We are doing the Lord's work. You have a question?
The Philly Kid says,
Philly Kid, hello.
He says, I'm trying to upload a buddy letter and also a PTSD personal statement of mine. I can't find an option on the drop-down box on the VA website. What category should I put it as?
I would tell you, if you're having like tech issues on the site, I would call in and see if maybe using our service would be better for you, because if we're at a point where we're not able to upload evidence like correctly or easily, you will be also out of your depth when you try to go to your CMP exam, right? We're already at the point where we probably need a little bit of help. If I were you, I would write into 858-360-2227. You have to think 15,000 times we have successfully uploaded evidence. So if you want our help, we're happy to give that help to you. And somebody on the line can either tell you how to do it, but you're probably at a point where maybe you could use our help. You have a question?
Yeah, Joey from TikTok.
Joey.
He was saying he got to 100% already, and he's wondering if he should get SSDI on top of the 100%.
So for all of you wondering if you should get SSDI, I will tell you, if you're at 100%, they will, and they are required to fast track you through the SSDI process. It's not in your benefit. It seems like it is, that you get to cut the line. This is the one time where cutting the line and doing things quickly doesn't always go in your favor. Most of those get kicked back. If you get kicked back, you can get an SSDI lawyer, but they don't want to give SSDI. When the government realizes they're already giving you money, it's hard to get SSDI, which is ridiculous, and it shouldn't be that way. But if you want to write in, we have a lady we refer people to that we absolutely love, 858-360-2227, and I'll get you her information. Why does the VA keep asking for records after you have given them to them, and they keep wanting more? Sometimes when they keep wanting more records, it's just to placate you, annoy you, and get you to quit. Most of the time, they have your records from service. If you get treated at the VA, they have your My Healthy Vet record. If you work with somebody like us, we've already uploaded the records that they need. Sometimes you just need to call the catch-all number and say, why do you keep asking me for all this stuff? And they will tell you, right? The catch-all number for the VA, we call it the 1000 number, is 800-827-1000. 800-827-1000, and you can pretty much ask them any question and they will know the answer to it.
Anthony on Instagram asks, how much do personal statements truly help?
Personal statements, lay statements, your own personal statement, they help tremendously, especially if we're talking about something mental health. Because sometimes it's easier to put your thoughts into words on paper, to type it out in the comfort of your own home, when you're not under the gun of the pressure of being live in front of a person. This way, if we upload it, they might have already read it and referenced it before they ask you questions. So now they can start asking you questions inside the bounds of what they already know about you. And that can be very helpful to you, because sometimes you will articulate your issue better in that medium. Also, buddy statements, like statements from your wife, these are excellent to illustrate their perception. How hard is it on your family to live with you when you have all of these problems? They're absolutely incredible. And when you write them, we always read them. Sometimes we say, hey, we're going to go ahead and tweak this and tweak that and add a little bit more color to it. But it's absolutely the best thing you could do.
Okay, so I've got a couple Nexus letter questions. Like people say, oh, it's hard to obtain. None of my civilian doctors will write one for me. What should I do? So I keep getting Nexus letter questions. So can we just go over that one more time?
Yeah, I'll answer the Nexus letter question one more time, just so that everyone knows. You didn't even hear about Nexus letters 10 years ago, really. Even when I first started this company, it wasn't as big of a thing. It became an industry, right? It became an industry that people make a ton of money on. And in my opinion, it's a little bit grifty because of this reason. It isn't that you don't always need one. Sometimes you do need one. Okay. Sometimes you need a letter. You're better served with a DBQ, but we'll come back to that. Nexus just means origin. The only job of that letter is to prove, in that doctor's opinion, that the origin of your disability began in service or because of something else that is service related, something else that's already rated. Most of the time, we can prove that by a good C&P exam, by your personal statement, by proof and evidence that we already have. So Nexus letters, they don't really read them. I've talked to tons and tons of VSOs and they're like, I don't even have time to read them. But a DBQ, because the DBQs are the same all the time, all the information's in the same spot. So they know exactly where to find it. They can zip over it in, 30 seconds to a minute, put their stamp of approval on it and move on. When you give too much evidence, there is such a thing as too much evidence. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but imagine being this rater. You're under the gun to make a ton of, I got to get through this entire stack. You're going to first go through, because you're just trying to do something fast, you're going to pull out all the low-hanging fruit first, get those done, and then go back to the stuff, the mad stack of stuff. So we like to weed out all the stuff that isn't really going to help your claim, is going to slow the rater down, and is not going to be in your favor. I am not yet a customer of VetComm because I get out next November. I've sent a couple people your way. Is it possible to get a referral credit for that? I plan on Skillbridging with your company. I love that, Bluff NB. That's great. We are about to launch our new program, I think here in about 30 days, a new referral program where you'll have a link and a QR code, and that will be getting shipped out. So write into us so we can get your name on the list, 858-360-2227. Doesn't not going through everything negate the duty to assist rule? Yeah, of course it does. That doesn't mean that they do it. I mean, there's like, okay, let's say I have like a stack of paper. I could read every stack of paper, read it all, or I could skim it all and I went through it. Who's there watching them? Where is the accountability? How will you ever be able to prove they didn't read it? This is where people get stuck in this abyss of higher level reviews. A lot of times, because you can't give new evidence and the person already declined you, it's like saying, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And the manager's like, you were already declined. A lot of people don't win a higher level review. So you're better off giving them the appropriate amount of stuff to go through. Sometimes we over paper and over document stuff where it becomes like a job for them now to do your one claim. So that's just piece of advice. If you're not using us and you want to give them, a dissertation and a manifesto on yourself, by all means, we wouldn't recommend it. We would recommend the right, great evidence to prove just the point to get you rated. They're both trying to ask me a question right now. Go ahead.
Sean Levine Jr. on Infidel says, should I go through with you guys? I went from step 7, rated 90%, and then went back to step 3 for a risk evaluation.
Should you go through us? No. Why would you go through us? Of course you should. But you're talking to the CEO of the company. I'm always going to say, of course you should. I think every veteran that can go through a company like ours should do it, because you have questions and you get sent pieces of paper and text messages and calls and you have no idea what they mean. And it becomes like this anxiety-filled analysis paralysis thing that it doesn't need to be. So I think absolutely you should. A lot of people sign up with us and they're like, I have a C&P exam tomorrow. Well, here's the coolest part about getting involved with us when you're midstream. We're going to prep you for those exams. We're going to rally and get it done. And then when they're adjudicated, we're going to do a whole nother round of claims and prep you for those. So yes, whatever stage you're in, if you're still active duty and if you're in the middle of a claim, whatever it is, get involved. And right now, what I want to do, I want to take a second. I'm going to hit the pause button. I would be doing you a disservice if I just kept chattering on and didn't tell you what to do. That's why people watch people give advice. So my best advice to you as a CEO of VetComm, as somebody who took 11 years before I started this company to get myself rated to 100%, my best advice to you is stop sitting on the bench and in the trench and stop watching so much content that you're not winning. Stop watching, start winning. Okay. Let's take a step. If in our heart is to get more or to get rated, take the first step. Text us free claim review. Let's at least get you one more step towards your goal. Even if you don't go with us, you've taken a step. Okay? 858-360-2227. Today is your day. I am giving you permission to go get what you're owed. If you're sitting there thinking, well, I'm going to leave it for somebody else, my buddy who's a bigger hero, it doesn't work like that. Budgets do not work like that. None of your money's going to your friend. I like to say, if you delivered yourself whole to the service, you came out less than whole. That delta is what you are owed. And your money's sitting at the VA, and every month you don't take it, they're going to use it for something that you don't want. I haven't met a veteran yet that said, hey, I love everything the government does. No, you don't. I don't. So I would rather be a steward of my money. Even if you're so rich watching, you don't need the money. You know someone who does. You can sponsor veterans in my program if you want to, but go get what you are owed. Because I guarantee you, if you got in a car accident, you go get that money. If I owed you money, you'd MF me all day until I gave it to you. But somehow, only when we're owed money by the VA do we feel guilty about it. Who do you think started that rhetoric? Who do you think spent money on that branding campaign to make sure that you felt guilty about getting your own money? The VA did. The VA spends a lot of money, and they prey on the fact that you have anxiety and that you have survivor's guilt and you feel guilty. Let's stop all that crap. I want to release you and break that chain that's around your ankle, and let's get running toward our target. How long have you seen on average for approval of increase from the VA from step 4 to step 8 completion? We sometimes have people get rated in 32 days. Sometimes it takes 6 months. But if you're at step 4 to step 8, I would guess in the next 30 days, if you've gone to your CMP exams, I would guess that you're about 30 to 45 days away from completion of your where you are in the process. If you haven't gone to your CMP exams yet, anybody watching me right now, if you are in the process and you have not gone to your CMP exams and you're not working with us, you need to start working with us, because we're going to prep you for the ones you made, whether you made them correctly or not, help you win those, make another round of claims, and prep you there. So if anybody's in the middle of the stage, 858-360-2227, this is like the trick of all tricks. This is how you are gonna win. If your CMP exam is completed, you're about 30 days out. That's what I would guess. Shout out to Amy Frederick for helping me. She's been great. Amy is absolutely a blessing. So is Angel and Brian. We have like 40 people just in the claims department, another 20 people in the pre-claims department. We have 170 people working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week for you. What do you got?
My appeal has been going on for 7 years. Why?
Your appeal has been going on for 7 years because most veterans, if they get a no, just appeal when they shouldn't appeal. Not everything should be appealed. It wasn't made right in the first place. You didn't prove your case well. You failed your CMP exam. You'd be ready. You should have done a supplemental claim. So if we talked to you and we heard your story, we may say, you might want to get out of that and go do a supplemental claim where you can introduce new evidence and breathe new life into this. Because if it's been 7 years, you're not likely to win your HLR. I don't want to be rude and say that to you, but there's a reason, because you're sitting in a stack, 1 million people. There's 1 million files that they have to get through. That's why, and they're in no rush to pay you. Now that you put yourself in that stack, you gave them free license to just however long they want to take, because they're not bound to any amount of time. Do they like to say, oh, we're really getting through them? Yeah, they do. They love to sit in hearings and talk all about that, but that's absolute bullcrap. Mike Shenevert, fantastic company, Semper Fidelis, Mark. Anybody else have any questions for me?
I've been getting a ton.
Go ahead.
So we had a couple people saying that they feel like they don't have enough evidence.
So a lot of people think that they don't have enough evidence. Probably 50% of the claims we make don't have any evidence. Sometimes the best evidence is what you say, how you look, your own personal statement, and the nature of what you did in service. So hear me out. Let's say that you have bad ankles, knees, and back, and your job had you running up and down stairs, had you been bent over working on things, had you rucking, a rucksack, had you marching in boots, had you jumping out of airplanes. Millions of other people already claimed these things, so they went ahead of you. And in your favor, the VA only has to say we're 50% or more sure that you got this disability in service. So the nature of what you did, for the most part, is going to be how you win. If we're going after anxiety, the amount of people we help win for anxiety for what's called the long-term state of ready, meaning your job had you, like people could die if you didn't do your job right, like you work on a flight line or you're a flight line mechanic. Most people wouldn't think a flight line mechanic would have anxiety. Well, if every time I turn a wrench, if I mess it up, the helicopter falls out of the sky and my friends die, I would be a little bit anxious. I might have a little bit of anxiety, perfectionism, OCD tics. This is worth 50 to 70%. Okay. Have you heard anything from Doug Collins about streamlining the filing process to make things easier? I have another visit in September, and we sat at that 3-hour roundtable, and we absolutely went through a lot of those things. Grand Supreme, positive and prosperous vibrations, beautiful being. Had my free claim review today with Anne, very confirming and so sweet. We love her. Experience while getting information. I'm definitely going with you. Love, King Malik Sr. Hello. Thank you so much.
David from TikTok
Hi, David.
asks, what if you're using another service? How easy is it to switch to VetComm?
So a lot of people think that they're in a hostage situation working with another service or with another law firm or, one of the free services. For the most part, if you send an email to them, especially one of the law firms or, any of our, I don't even know if we have any direct competition because nobody really does the thing that we do and the way that we do it for what we do it for. Let's say you are working with Vets Guardians or one of the other bigs. They are not attached to, they're not accredited, they're not attached to your file with the VA. So they have no way to get your money. You just send them an email and say, I no longer wish to work with you. And there's really nothing that they can do about it. So I wouldn't worry about that. But if you want to know where you stand with them and our real opinion on your exact, where do I stand with the firm I'm with, you can write into 858-360-2227. Just write free claim review. For everybody wondering why I keep giving the number and why I'm telling you to put free claim review, we're giving a discount. Every time people watch me live, we offer a discount code and we put you on a list. The discount is substantial. So if you've been thinking, I want more, I should get rated, I am underrated, and you have questions, I have a whole, over here on the other side of my screen, in my Zoom screen, is all my staff waving at me like, hey, I'm ready to take these people's calls. They are sitting here live, ready to talk to you. Many of you, usually when I go live, 50 to 60 people just in this hour get signed up. So don't be one of the people that regrets not writing in free claim review and you forget their number and you're like, damn it, I should have listened to that lady and I should have wrote in. So 858-360-2227. Thank your company for what you do. I started with you all about a week ago and I'm doing my vids and workbbook now. Can't wait to get what I'm owed with your help at 30% now. Thanks. You're welcome, Ryan. Thank you. Anything?
Queen Ma Bay says,
Queen.
It's been a year since he was denied. She might be talking about her husband or something. Not really sure, but she's saying, can he still put in the info or is it too late?
So tons of people that come to work with us are in a state of being denied. And a lot of you have some things that are approved and some that are denied. We clean up after these free services all the time with a mop. Because what happened is somebody threw all the noodles at the wall, whether it was you or somebody else, and they didn't all stick and they fell down. You confused the VA and they just put you in this state of being denied. That doesn't, it's not a no forever. It's a not right now. Well, now's your time. Come to VetComm. We'll figure out if we can do a supplemental or if we can claim other things. We will find you a way in. We have taken people who have 15 denials and got them to 70 or 80% from zero. Anything is possible, but nothing's possible if you don't get help, if you don't get moving. You'll just sit there in this analysis paralysis, hoping and wishing and not getting paid. What you need to do is write in 858-360-2227 and do it right now because I'm about to close the call down. I don't have as long as I normally have today. I have another speaking engagement, but you need to write in free claim review. You have 10 minutes left. I'm going to be on for 10 minutes. I'm going to make it very simple for you. You have 10 minutes left to write in 858-360-2227, write free claim review, write help, write Kate, write I need you. Go ahead. Anything else?
I've got, should you submit pictures wearing a pack while you were in?
If we find that that's a good piece of evidence, but it might be very obvious based on what your MOS or job or rate was. If we think it would help to show that, the physical nature of your job, we absolutely would get those from you and upload them.
What are the chances of a reevaluation on 50% for sleep apnea when seeking a secondary headaches? It's a long question. Sorry.
So a lot of people are worried mostly about what would happen if I decided to go back and get more or attach a secondary or try to move the needle on mental health from 30 to 50 or 50 to 70, and we sit and worry. You got to wonder again, where did this campaign start? Who is it good for if you worry about losing what you have? Well, it's good for the VA. It's good for the VA if you think you'll lose your guns. It's good for the VA if you think you'll lose your stuff, if you think you're not owed or are not deserving or whatever it is. We got to stop all that. I wouldn't worry about your sleep apnea going down because you're already rated at 50%. But I do want to give you guys a little PSA announcement. Mental health disorders and sleep apnea and some stomach issues in August are changing. They will still rate you, but it won't be as favorable as it is now. We need to get our intents to file in. Stop waiting. Stop doing it. No. Stop waiting. Start rating. Enough. You've watched enough. Okay? Be confident enough. I heard someone say yesterday, and I thought it was so interesting. She said, you can do hard things even while you are scared. So you might be scared that this is going to happen or that's going to happen or what if this, what if that. You can do the thing and you can be scared. And you know why you don't have to be as scared? Because you have a battalion of 170 people standing behind you going, we are here. Our logo literally is a shield. It's meant to go, hey, get behind me. I'm going to kick the door in and let you run in and get what you are owed from the VA. So let us worry about those things. Let us submit the evidence. Let us write your statements and do all this with you. It's like going to Disneyland. All of us on this call, everybody watching me, if we decided one day we wanted to go to Disneyland together, which would be fun, wouldn't it? Let's say that we all wanted to go to Disneyland. We could all buy the ticket that gets you in the gate and it gets you on the rides. But some people spring for the Genie Pass, and you are standing in line for like 2 hours to ride a very mediocre ride. I'm not even going to say what it is because I might get hate because you might love that ride. But let's say we're waiting in line for 2 hours and you see somebody lapping you. They got on the damn ride 3 times because they bought the Genie Pass, or in my case, I would probably get the like escorted thing. I don't know, because I hate amusement parks. But when you spring for that extra help, you're going to get to the front of the line and get better service, have an easier time. That's what VetComm is. We're the Genie Pass to the VA. You can do it for free. You can do it yourself if you want to take a year or 18 months and possibly fail and get less. Or you could just spring for $11.97 for the potential of like my lifetime income just from the VA is going to be $2.7 million. I would like to think that $11.97 is a pretty good exchange for $2.7 million. And I have never met a veteran that got rated by us that didn't say, I can't believe I thought y'all were expensive. Like I'm laughing at myself now that I couldn't believe I was going to pay you. And now it was the best decision I ever made. And I want to go another round. In the process of my claim started in January in step 3. I don't know if you've gone to your CMP exams yet. If you haven't, let's have a chat. Jonathan, 858-360-2227. Anybody else? We're running out of runway, running out of daylight.
Brendan Wisco says, I so far have gone up to 90% waiting for 3 deferred decisions. Do you go again with an appeal to try one more time?
So if you're at 90% right now and you have 3 deferred conditions, that means they haven't adjudicated the 3 yet. When they do, you could pop to 100. What you should do is you should write in and we should do your VA math number with you to see if you're really at like 85 or if you're at like 93. Because any one of those could pop, right? If you were at 93 and you might hit the 95 and get paid at 100. But if you're at 85, we may look at what you have deferred and it still isn't going to get you, then maybe you should sign up with us. But what I would do is just take that little strategy call. We can give you some input. 858-360-2227. Anybody that's still on the call, I still see some people on here and you know we're running out of daylight here. Right now, before I nuke the call, I want you to do what I'm telling you to do. You don't know me from anybody, but a lot of you, I see your names. You've watched me multiple times. And if you're watching me and you're not one of my customers, you are considering using us. You absolutely are, or you wouldn't keep watching me. You're still in your state of analysis paralysis, not really knowing and hoping and wishing and deciding and praying on it. I'll pray on it with you. And I'm pretty sure God will tell you, go get what you're owed, whether it's with her or with somebody else. Okay. Write in free claim review to 858-360-2227. And I want you to do it right now. 858-360-2227. Mark says, absolutely the best deal. Get on it now at 70, working to 100. Good job, Mark. Do we have any one last question? Or are we good?
Any danger in seeking an increase? Can they decrease your rating if you try?
Anything's possible, right? You could walk out and get bit by a shark in the freeway. It's probably not going to happen. We don't get people's stuff reduced. If you go do it yourself and you do something insanely wrong and you go and you just absolutely fail your CMP, maybe, but we're not going to touch things when we know they're maxed out. Like, there is a literal strategy to do this. Everybody stop worrying about your rating going down. They got you so convinced to hold on like Gollum to your, like, my precious, my 70%, that you're not going to go get the 100. They rely on that. Like, they have you stuck. Okay. They're not your friend. What happens if you can't get me to 100? Then we don't get you to 100. I think I said just a little bit ago, only when you're at 90 is our guarantee to go the 3 rounds to get you to 100. Not everyone's journey is 100. I know you don't want to hear that, but not everyone's going to be 100% because you're owed the delta of how you went in and how you came out, right? I went in whole, I came out less than whole, I'm owed a certain amount. Some people are owed 10%, some are owed 100. I will say that our average first-time rating is 70% or higher, and we do it in less than 4 months. We're very, very good at what we do. So Justin, if I were you, I would write in, because I don't know what percentage you're at now, whether you're at 0 or 90 or 93. So I would write in 858-360-2227. You need to be very leery. When you go to a company and they start guaranteeing you 100%, they have no idea if you're going to get to 100%. Now, if we go through everything that you are rated for and we find a ton of stuff that's low and a bunch of secondaries you never thought of, yeah, we can give you some surety that you're going to get there, but we're not going to sit and BS you. That's not what we do here at VetComm. Hi there, I received an entry-level separation due to medical issues and basic training. Can I apply? Yes. We helped a Marine Corps. We not even a full veteran, but he got injured in boot camp, broke his leg. We actually got him to 80% because he actually got hazed for it before he got out, caused him a bunch of psychological issues, and he's at 80% now. So anything is possible. You would be surprised what we can do, even for guardsmen and reserves. Like, I think what people want to do is try to always go in the front door, and your money's in the safe. You're trying to go in the front door. Well, there's a side window and a slider and a back door and a chimney like Santa. And there's a lot of ways in. So let us be creative together. We're going to write in now, free claim review, to 858-360-2227. And that's all, folks. That was very Warner Brothers-y, wasn't it? A little bit. But Looney Tunes. My dad used to do those all the time for me.